Problems 4, 5, and 6 have to do with evaluating limits algebraically. So we have the limit as t approaches 0 of square root of t squared plus 9 minus 3 all over t squared. If I plug in t equals 0, I'll get square root of 9, which is 3, minus 3 is 0, and t squared when t is 0 is also 0. So that's definitely 0 over 0. Since I can't do direct substitution, I see the radical. I want to multiply by the conjugate of that radical expression. And that would be square root of t squared plus 9 and then plus 3 over the same thing. And when we multiply out, we get, in the numerator, it'll be first term squared minus second term squared. So it's t squared plus 9 minus 9. And that's all divided by t squared times square root of t squared plus 9 plus 3. Well, you can see that the numerator, the 9's are going to zero out, and the t squares are then going to cancel, and so we're left with the limit as t approaches 0 of 1 over square root of t squared plus 9 plus 3. When I plug in t equals 0, I'm going to get square root of 9, which is 3, and that's just 1 over 6. We'll go on to the second problem, or here problem number 5. So we have limit as t approaches negative 3 of t squared minus 9 divided by 2t squared plus 7t plus 3. We plug in negative 3 for t, and we're going to get 9 minus 9, which is 0. In the denominator, negative 3 squared is 9 times 2 is 18, plus 7 times negative 3 is negative 21, so that'll be negative 3 plus 3 is 0. So this is still a 0 by 0. We can't use 0 over 0, sorry. We can't use direct substitution, so what do? We try to factor. The numerator factors easily to t plus 3, t minus 3, and that's all divided by, since 2 is a prime number, we know that we have to start off with 2t and t. Now 3 is also a prime number, so I'm either going to have 2t plus 1 times 2t plus 3, or the 1 and the 3 will be reversed. But I need to get 7, so 2t times 3 is 6t plus 1t, so this is going to be how it factors. And when I do that, I can see that my t plus 3 terms will cancel, and I'll be left with the limit as t approaches negative 3 of t minus 3 over 2t plus 1. We should be able to plug in now. Numerator is going to give us negative 3 minus 3, or negative 6. The denominator, 2 times negative 3 is negative 6 plus 1 is negative 5, and negative 6 over negative 5 is positive 6/5. And we'll go on to the problem below, number 6. We have these fractions, and what we're going to do is multiply top and bottom by the least common denominator in the fractional expression in the numerator. That's 1 over 4, 1 over x. And so the common denominator would be 4x. When we apply the 4x to the first term in the numerator, the 4's will cancel and we'll get x. When we multiply 4x times 1 over x, the x's cancel and we'll get 4. Now in the denominator, we have 4x times 4 plus x, but you can see that x plus 4 is really the same thing as 4 plus x, so those terms will cancel, and we'll be left with, in this problem the t's and the x's should all be the same. I shouldn't be using both t's and x's. So let's just say that the t's are x's. Okay, that should do it, and we have finally the limit as x approaches negative 4 of 1 over 4x. We plug in x equals negative 4, we get 4 times negative 4 is negative 16, and we end up with negative 1/16. And so that'll do it for these few problems, and we'll continue in the next video.